Audiophiles. Do you listen to music, or do you use music to listen to your equipment? That's a theme I commonly see in comments on my videos, originally attributed, I believe, to Alan Parsons. In a similar vein, commenters often say that you should just enjoy the music. Forget about everything else, including all those pops, clicks and surface noise on your precious vinyls. So what I have here are two young people simply enjoying music in a way that suits them back in February 1970. How do I know it's February 1970? Well, it's from the front cover of Homemaker Magazine from that date. And I think it has a story to tell. The couple we see here are David and Susan. Not their real names, because I just made them up. Looking closely at Susan's ring finger, there isn't enough definition and we can't tell whether they are married or not. Actually, we can. If they were, then David would be putting out the bins, and Susan would be washing his underwear with a pos stick. So we're probably at David's place, which he has beautifully decorated in blue. Hexadecimal 166AB2, if you fancy the colour for your own listening room. With no join between the walls and the floor, which should be good to reduce standing waves. I noticed too his recliner, from Yorkshire Fiberglass Limited. If you want one, then I'd guess that eBay will be your friend, as there's no company of that name still trading now. But what about Susan on the floor? Well, maybe David only has that one chair. It looks quite pricey, and maybe he couldn't afford another one. Anyway, Susan looks quite comfortable, and she gets to look up at David with longing eyes. I told you they're not married yet. Now, what about that magnificent cabinet? David made it all by himself, possibly to impress Susan with his handyman skills, which, of course, will be important to any possible future wife. Amazingly, he got sight of the plans in advance of publication of Homemaker, February 1970. The diagrams are very detailed, and maybe even I couldn't go wrong. Or maybe I could. I should probably stick to flat pack. So what we can see of the cabinet is first of all its flip-top lid, which when open provides a handy surface for a bottle of wine and a chessboard. Susan seems to be winning, by the way, even though David has cunningly angled the board towards himself. On the front, as we see it, are a couple of drawers. On the back, which we don't see in the image, but the plans show another storage space. Under the lid, well, I'll come to that. And, of course, the all-important system. The system, which audiophiles will clamour to listen to, with the help of some of those records, of course. But the wine, which only Susan seems to be drinking. It must be Spanish, there's a Matador on the label. But I don't know the brand. Neither do Grok, ChatGPT, Claude, or any of the other usual suspects. Do you? Anyway, when that runs dry, there are 4 more bottles in the cabinet, and a few more glasses, just in case any spare wheels come around. Yes, I know, the equipment. But I have to mention the board games, Blast Off and Moon Probe, perfect for 1970 at the height of the Apollo era. Susan wants to stick to chess while she's winning. She's a perfect 1970s-style liberated woman, and if there's going to be any mating this evening, she's going to do it first. And so, the star of the show, the system, a record player by the British Radio Corporation, according to the article. Now, this is where some of you old-timer audiophiles might be able to help. British Radio Corporation is sometimes known as BRC, and was, a subsidiary of Thorn Electrical Industries. But sad to say, I can't identify the model. I've looked at every image Google has to offer of late 1960s record players, and none look like this. Old-timer audiophiles. Do you know? Looking closely, it looks like it's an auto-changer. David seems to have missed a trick not stacking up some discs in advance, should the chess game be abandoned in favour of other activities. Anyway, David and Susan know how to enjoy music. Comfy chair, comfy floor, wine in abundance, board games, and a record player on a pull-out shelf. Facing the wrong way, but who cares about that? Music will fill the room, and the evening will be the prelude to David and Susan's perfect romance. Audiophiles, are you getting this much enjoyment? See you soon, and let's listen to some of that lovely AI-generated 1970 style music again.